Hello, good morning everyone. How are you today? Hoping na ang lahat ay safe, free, and healthy body. Okay? Class, may I know who is absent today? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. So, my dear students, welcome to science class. For today's lesson, we will be discussing the ecological relationship, and the subtopic is symbiotic relationship. For today's objective, at the end of the lesson, you shall be able to, number one, identify the different relationships existing among organisms in an ecosystem. Number two, differentiate the kinds of symbiotic relationship. Number three, determine how living organisms affect one another. Okay, class, last day we discussed about the different topics. So, are you still remember? Okay. So, number one, will you please raise your hand if you know the answer? Or you can uh, write in a chat box or in a comment section if you know the answer. Okay, number one, which are the biotic components in a terrarium? Next, number two, how about the abiotic components? Number three, how can the plant and insect survive in the covered jar? Okay, again, if you know the answer, you may write your answer in a chat box or in a comment section. So, I'll give you a minute to answer the question. Okay? Okay, class. In the environment, there are plants and animals and microscopic organisms such as bacteria and fungi. That is a group of organisms of the same kind living in the same place at the same time. So we call them as populations. So I have here the figure below, a figure of population of organism of organism. Now, what can you say about the picture? What can you see? Okay. Okay. Now, class, for our activity today, so the title is In a Relationship. No? Do you have any relationship? Do you know what is a relationship? Okay, class. Now, for our procedure, choose a study area in your mommy's garden or whatever place na meron kayo sa inyong tahanan ninyo. Pwede sa background or pwede doon sa inyong backyard, pwede doon sa inyong garden or sa inyong plantita and plantito na inyong mga mother. No? Sa garden ng inyong mga parents. Okay, next, number two. Observe carefully the different organism in your study area. So, titingnan ninyo. Next, reminder class. Do not catch the organism. Just observe them. Number three, fill in the table below to show how organisms interact with one another and the types of relationship they are engaged in. Use the symbol below to identify the types of relationship they have. Okay, so here are the table. So meron tayong interacting organism and symbiotic relationship. Okay, so doon ilalagay sa table yung mga na-observe ninyo. What particular organism that you have seen in a mommy's garden. Okay, so here are the table. Next, the symbol. Ito yung symbol na ilalagay nyo inside the table. So, write plus sign. So, the organism is benefiting. Negative sign, the organism is harmed. And 0, the organism is neither benefiting or nor harmed by the relationship. Okay, so here are the symbiotic relationship, ilalagay nyo sa kabilang side. Pagka parehong plus sign, it is mutualism. Pagka namang positive to negative, it is parasitism. Pagka naman positive to 0, we call them as commensalism. Okay, here are the symbol. The guide question to be answered. No? So, mamaya natin sasagutan yan ha. So, pinopost ko lamang para maya-maya sasagutan nyo na yan. Here are the guide question. Number 1. Which organisms are benefiting in the relationship? Number 2. Which organisms are harmed by other organisms? And number 3. How will you describe mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism? Okay? Again, you may write your question or you may write your answer in a chat box or in our comment section or in your notebook. Then picture it and send to our group chat. No? Para lahat ay nakakapag-interact. Okay? Class, here are the different symbiotic relationship. Number 1, mutualism. In mutualism, it is a biological interaction between two species, wherein both the species benefit from each other. Okay, so here are the example. The bees rely on the flower. So, makikita natin doon sa picture. The bees rely on the flower for food source. The flower benefit because the bee picks up the pollen and transport it to another flower. This aid in the reproduction of the plant. So, parehong nakikinabang ang bees at ang flower. So, that we call them as mutualism. So, pag kayong dalawang bagay ay nakikinabang, both parties, both species, two species, we call them as mutualism. Okay. So, another symbiotic relationship is commensalism. So, what is a commensalism? Commensalism, it is a type of relationship between two living organisms in which one organism benefits from the other without harming it. Example, tree frog use plant as protection. So we have noticed on the picture that the tree frog, ginagamit niya use plant as their body protection. Okay, next. Cattle egrets if the insect stirred up by cattle when they are grazing. So habang kumakain ang cattle, the egrets eat the insect at the back of the cattle. Okay, next. The golden jackals, once they have been expelled from the pack, will trail a tiger to feed on the remains of its skills. So they show an example of commensalism. Next, parasitism. In parasitism, it is a symbiotic relationship in which member of one species benefit at the expense of another species, which is the host. Okay, an example natin. Yan, mga garapata. Garapata ng aso. They are parasite. Ito, mga kuto. So, they are parasite. Yan, ano pa mga parasite natin? Mga leeches, mga linta, ticks, no? Lice. They are parasite. Okay? And the last one is the competition. So what do you mean by competition? Competition is a powerful form of interaction in the organizations of communities. In competitive interaction, species evolve either to avoid each other, to tolerate the presence of other, or to aggressively exclude the other. So, kita nyo naman doon sa drawing, nagkakaroon ng unahan. No? So, para bang mayroong yabangan na nangyayari, no, among the animals. Okay, and the other one, eto, sa baba. So, ganon din ang ginagawa. So, dadalo na lang sila, nagkakaroon pa rin ng competition. Okay? Okay, so those are the relationship among the organism in an ecosystem. So, meron tayong apat nga. So, which is the mutualism, commensalism, parasitism, and competition. So, okay class, how can environmental pollution affect the relationship among organisms in the ecosystem? Again, please write your answer in a comment box or in our chat group para makita natin kung sino yung mga nag-i-interact o nagpa-participate doon sa ating lesson. Okay, for our generalization, the abstractions, what are the different relationships existing among organisms in an ecosystem? So please write your answer in your activity sheet. No, so meron naman kayong notebook diyan. Please write or comment in our chat box or in our group chat sa Messenger. Okay. Now, will you please get 1/4 sheet of paper or in your notebook, please answer the following question. You are going to match the organism in column A to the symbiotic relationship that they might have in an ecosystem in column B. So in column A, so number 1, bees and flower. Number 2, orchids attached in a bee tree. Number 3, tapeworm in human intestine. Number 4, grasses in the backyard. And number 5, larva of an insect lives on the leaves of a plant. Okay, so what about column B? In column B, A, commensalism, B, competition, C, mutualism, and letter D, parasitism. Okay, thank you, my dear student. Sana naintindihan nyo ang lesson natin today. Happy science learning. God bless everyone. Thank you. Yeah.